So, hello everyone, and welcome to the second episode of The Raw Truth. And today, what I'd like to talk to you about is reliability. So, are you a reliable person that is actually trusted by others, or are you someone who keeps on constantly making excuses? And the reason why I actually wanted to start this today, because as I said yesterday on my other podcast, I want to go down to the next layer. This is going into the internal factors, and these comes under the six core segments. Now, one of the things to actually be influential in the marketplace, you need to actually have four criteria, and then there's little sub criteria underneath that. But one of the things that is got to be highlighted is for you to be influential, you've got to be trustworthy. And one of the aspects of being trustworthy is being reliable. Now, I would normally start this in a different sequence, but it was very important because today I actually went to get my hair cut at the barber's, and I've been going to him for a couple of years ever since the old barber retired, and he's taken over. And I've gradually seen that under this new chap, actually he's been there 2 years, so he's not so new. Business has just constantly just gone down and down and down, and when I went to get my haircut last week and he was shut, I actually popped into the store next door and actually asked, is he still open? Because I was under the impression that his business just could not sustain the way it was actually, the amount of customers that he was actually getting. But suffice to say, he is actually still around. I don't know for how long, because here's the thing. I arrived at 9 o'clock when his store says it opens, 9 o'clock in the morning. And I did that twice last week, and he was shut on both occasions. And I attempted a third time today, and it was going to be my last. And it was going to be my last attempt. It's only because it's convenient that I go there, because one, he knows my hairstyle, and it's near to where I live. However, I recently saw another store, actually, another shop open up about 2 weeks ago, and I was going to actually go there if he was closed today. And funny enough, he was, but I was already irritated that I'd still gone out of my way. So there's a little cafe across the road. I sat there, I had a cup of coffee, and I waited to see what time he would actually open up. At about 10 past 9, he strolls in. He spends about 15 minutes pottering around. And I then got my haircut. Okay, happy with the haircut, but really, really unhappy with the service. Because why are people going to come and see him if he is so unreliable? Because if he says he opens at 9 o'clock, he should be open at, guess what, 9 o'clock. Not at 2 minutes past 9, not at 5 minutes past 9, not at 10 minutes past 9. And while we're having our haircuts, I'm saying, what happened? I actually thought you closed down. He goes, no, no, no. I had to drop my kids off at school, and excuse after excuse after excuse. And here's the thing: as I said in my episode number 1, the marketplace doesn't really care that you actually have to drop your kids off at school. It only cares about what it sees, and if it sees 9 o'clock and you're not showing up at 9 o'clock, it's actually not going to be responsive. So it's very easy for people to actually say, do you know what? I've had enough. I'm going to go elsewhere. I'm going to get a better level of service. There's other factors going on with him as well, but this was one that particularly much irritated me. But I do go to him because he is actually quiet these days, and because I know I don't have to wait too long to get my hair cut. Because someone who's actually very conscious of time, and it's a very big value for me to be on time, him being late really, really irritated me, which is why I did not leave him a tip today, and I normally usually leave him a tip. And this just goes for any business. If people can't trust you to deliver, they're not going to actually select you. And it's why it's one of the things that I actually am reluctant to do business with Spain, because they've got this manana attitude. Now, I'd lived in Latin America for a couple of years, and they were never very conscious of time. It was always thereabouts and roundabouts, and they never really apologized for being late. It's almost as though they accepted it as part of their culture, which is what it is. It's part of their culture. However, now that we're actually operating in a global market, it's no surprise that countries like Spain are actually suffering from 30% unemployment, because if that is their standard, people aren't actually going to want to actually hire them when they can actually go to other countries. The same with Latin America, and particularly countries like Venezuela. Look at the state. I mean, I know there's and that comes down to corruption and things like this. But again, it's about being trustworthy. If people can't trust you, why are they going to stay? Why are they going to actually hire you? But even if you actually have a good excuse, one excuse you can get away with. But when they constantly keep coming up, just put a V on your forehead and become a victim, because really it's not going to cut it in today's marketplace. There's too many other people who've got a higher standard who are actually delivering on what they say they're going to be. So it's very important, guys, to actually be reliable, be consistent, be dependable, and be responsible. Okay, and that way you'll actually increase your reputation. People will do business with you because you've got a proven track record, and you will. And I've got to say, it's one of the key areas to actually making an impact in the marketplace. Otherwise, look, if you're actually happy living in the level of mediocrity that some people are right now, that's fine. Stay there. But if you actually want to raise your game, you want to go to the top, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to become more disciplined, be on time. In fact, be on time means being about 15 minutes early. All right, allowing time for any possible delays that are going to happen. I always have to put an extra half an hour onto my journey when I go and see a client, even if it means me hanging around for half an hour. And that could mean, and you can use your time effectively. You can stay on. Pretty much everyone has a smartphone these days. There's lots of places with internet access. There's no reason that you can actually use your dead time effectively. Why actually leave it to the last minute over here when you allow yourself 30 minutes to spare at the other end? And another thing, why would you want to put yourself under that level of stress of actually constantly wanting, leaving it to the last minute to be late? Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there about being reliable, all right? Because otherwise, if you're not going to get hired, and what's going to happen if you don't? I think you know the answer to that. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you on my next episode. Bye-bye.